and introduce Toby and myself. Toby and I've known each other for absolutely ages. I'm really lucky because Toby's part of my greater team. My name's Cherry Hornsby. My background was farming and flying before getting involved with Forever. And I've been happily doing so for now just over 25 years, believe it or not. But Toby, come on, tell us about you. How did you get involved with Forever? What was your background?
Well, I was a conference producer, and I've been in the conference production business for some time. It's very susceptible to ups and downs of economic and political upset. Rather like this sort of COVID thing that's going on at the moment, the business completely collapsed in just after 9/11 in 2001. And I joined Forever in October 2001. I've reached the position of senior manager. Cherry is, however, a sapphire manager, which is fantastic because the sapphire pins have sapphires in them and they make great earrings. I can't wait to get 2 of them myself.
Only I thought of that. Okay, well, let's just have a little chat about that set of circumstances now, because actually that analogy is a really good one, because just like 9/11 had ripples all around the world in the most unexpected ways, well, so was that decision that they made in COVID, not in China, not to sort of shut the country down. And because they didn't do that, and they had their Chinese New Year, and 5 million people passed through Wuhan, which is incredible. Those 5 million people took that COVID virus all over the world, and it's just having exactly the same massive impact. Only I think actually it's worse and longer lasting, actually. Well, I don't know, perhaps they're the same. But it just highlights the need, if ever we needed reminding, that making ourselves as secure as possible by developing some skill sets, learning some new things, and having some alternative ways of, also alternative avenues of earning incomes, nothing but a brilliant idea. Already we've been in this situation where students have got debt piled upon debt upon debt. There's a great Facebook page the other day of an old lady said, "I've just paid off my student debt." But joking aside, we're hamstringing our most intelligent people, which is ridiculous. And the feeling of being indebtedness leads to a wretched work-life balance because it's so stressful, isn't it? Even if you think you're handling it, possibly you're not handling it as well as you think you might be. If we ever thought that the employment situation was a bit insecure before, it is, well, it's just a game changer. We've all had to learn how to completely redo our businesses since COVID came along, because certainly mine was sort of a people-facing business, and we did. I every month used to do business presentations with Andrew. You can see up there at Exeter, live in a hotel, along with lots of the rest of the team. Well, now we only ever see each other on Zoom, but we seem to have adapted okay. And Forever has done a great job in making us as friendly as possible online. So it's really all heading towards a bit of a crisis, and Forever is a way that we can alleviate that crisis and just make ourselves a really comfortable cushion to build the rest of our life on. But where does it all begin, Toby?
Well, this diagram really shows where everything starts. Where everything starts really is, if you consider anything that you do in life, you do whatever you do in life because you have a reason why you want to do it. Most people start in Forever because they want a result. That result might be more money, it might be more fulfillment, it might be recognition, it might be all sorts of different things. Those things which most people look for are on this circle. So for instance, some people are looking for more time. Some people are looking for a combination of time and money. Some people are looking specifically to fund school fees, or to travel, or to buy a new car, or to make a contribution. So if you can identify in the circle around the why, the kinds of things that you're wanting to do with your life, the kind of direction that you would like your life to go in. For instance, financial freedom. What would financial freedom be for you? Because financial freedom for one person might be €1,000 a month, whereas for somebody else it might be €10,000 a month. And if you can identify what you want to get out of the business, the why, then you can start to navigate, and we have a plan which can fit around everybody's ambitions and everybody's goals, because it's an unlimited plan. And there is no limit to what you can do or where this business can take you. That's why identifying your why at the very beginning is really, really important. And it can be something as simple as living stress-free, or something as complex as total financial freedom and living on a yacht in the Bahamas. And anything.
That's a great description. Well, the company that both Toby and I and other people perhaps on this evening have been involved with is a company called Forever Living. It has got many, many attributes, which you'll be learning through the rest of the presentation. But you know what? I really like the fact that it's quite old-fashioned in some ways. It's a family-run company with family values, and it's been around now for over 40 years. So clearly, they're doing something right. One of those things is that it's cash rich and debt free. And my background when we coming into Forever was that my ex-husband had just experienced a really severe financial meltdown. He just come home and said that our business has been taken into administration, and it was just such a shock. So hearing about a business like this that had this great opportunity but was backed up by a solid cash rich and debt-free background sounded extremely attractive. Now this is something that's not tied to the area in which you live in, your location. Well, good news, it's tied to the rest of the world. We actually trade in over 160 countries globally and have a head office presence in all of them. So I don't know if we can quite see you there, Toby. You're just off the coast of Africa.
Indeed, we are down there. I mean, one of the things which I really liked when I first heard about Forever was its international nature. Because my background was that I'd been born in South America, in Venezuela, I'd lived in England, I had family in Tenerife. One of the things I really wanted to do was live in Tenerife, but I couldn't see a way economically to do that. And after I'd worked my business in London for 10 years, I was able to come and fulfill that dream, which was to live in Tenerife and come here to make my permanent home here. And I mean, this is where I feel most at home, most at ease. My grandparents came here in 1906. You know, it really does feel like home. And but my business has expanded into 27 different countries around the world. Last year, I was able to go to Marrakesh and have 4 or 5 days in Marrakesh. Whilst I was in Marrakesh, I was able to build a business there. I met a whole lot of people. I networked with a whole lot of people. And then I went to this event that had about, there must have been 15,000 people at this event. And it was incredible to see how Forever works in Morocco. And then, of course, I then was able to go to the peninsula of Spain, meet lots of people on the peninsula of Spain. Getting around has been great. And I've traveled literally to most of the Western world, Europe and America, a lot of Europe, a lot of America, some of Africa. And I'm looking forward to next year being able to go to Australia.
Yes, absolutely, which would be very exciting, won't it? We'll be hearing about that in a moment. But I think this is both of our second home, isn't it?
Yeah, and Longbridge Manor, a Grade 2 listed building in Warwick, just outside Warwick. That's our headquarters building in the UK. But you can also see the headquarters in Nigeria there. You can see the headquarters down below, bottom right, in Gothenburg in Sweden. And I'm not sure where the left-hand bottom one is. Malaysia, I think, maybe.
It's Colombia.
But one of the things that Rex was involved in, Rex was the founder of Forever, he was involved in real estate beforehand. And so he's got a real eye for property. And that's one of the reasons why he's been able to build up a $2 billion property portfolio, which is really reassuring because it financially backs the company. And all of that is mortgage-free, debt-free property. So he really has built himself up a fabulous empire and a fabulous asset base, which gives us a AAA rating, credit rating, with the banks, if that's worth anything nowadays at all.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it? One of the things that really appealed to me, I'd had an experience of 2 previous network marketing companies before getting involved with Forever. I was mainly the critical one who stayed at home with my hand on my hip saying, when are you going to get a proper job? But I did observe how they behaved, and I really didn't like the look of it very much. I didn't feel at all comfortable. But Forever really appealed to me because as a farmer, you constantly do everything for the future. It's everything you do in your whole farming way is preventative and with other people, other animals in mind, the future in mind, next year in mind. You know, things take time to mature. So I really like the fact that Forever had this attitude towards their farming structure too. They're socially extraordinarily responsible. We have over 50 million aloe plants, which is the equivalent to many forests, and rids the world of thousands and thousands of tons of CO2 in just the same way that trees do, which is fantastic. And we not only own the plants, but we own the soil that they're planted in, the farms they're planted on, and so on. They also have a really nice attitude, not just to us, because they would be nice to us, wouldn't they? But I've been lucky enough to go to America on lots of occasions and meet up with these guys. I'm always shocked when they say things like, "Oh, thank you so much for coming." I think, I feel embarrassed. I think, no, thank you for having us here. But these guys, even at the, if we could say at the bottom rung, so to speak, the field workers and the people who process the leaves have all sorts of advantages that normal people who are employed don't have. Which, for instance, they have educational scholarships for these people's children. They have healthcare plans, all kinds of things, and they're happy. And that says oceans about Forever. And you know, there's a waiting list of people wanting to join just to do this. So clearly they're doing something very right. Now, if we just go down a square to the square below, this is classic Rex. They decided that they couldn't find a European warehouse they really liked the look of, so they thought, right, let's go and just buy some more land and we'll just build one from scratch, which they've done. And it's a massive area, perhaps the size of, I don't know, Heathrow Airport or something, full of conveyor belts, but not luggage, but parcels that go out to over 90 countries in Europe. And it is a heck of a system. You know, they say delivery between 2 and 5 days, but almost invariably it's usually 2 to 3. And it's just, you know, our customers are really impressed by this and they never make mistakes because it's all computer controlled. And then finally, you know, this is not just about a money-making machine, which is really quite refreshing. Forever also is committed to a charity, and this is Rise Against Hunger. And I think I've done this with Toby. I think I've done meal packing with you. I've certainly done it with plenty of other people over the years. We've packed 5 million meals in 2 years. Now, you know, if they were really some sort of dreadful fly-by-night company,
wasn't it?
What?
It wasn't 5 million meals between you and me. It was between all of us.
Yes, it wasn't just you and me. I think quite right, thankfully. So there we go. So let's hear a little bit about Aloe and how it's grown. Toby, tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay. Well, we own our own plantations, so we're actually the farmers as well as the producers of the product. So we can trace everything back to the field in which the products are actually made. So there's a sort of almost like a pharmaceutical quality about the products that we have, a nutraceutical quality. And that gives us a really superior product that we can guarantee. And we can guarantee that with money back guarantees and various other things. We have certifications and different types of certifications as well. The products are naturally grown, so there's no pesticides, there's no herbicides, nothing like that. In fact, they use goats on the farm to help weed and to help fertilize. And the plants are all fully mature when they're harvested. So that means they're over 6 years old, and the leaves are a certain length before they're harvested. That gives us a very good control of the raw ingredients of aloe, but also we're also beekeepers. We have the largest beekeeping operation in the world, as well as being the largest producer of aloe. We're also the largest beekeepers in the world. We have a natural bee farm where there are no petrol engines allowed in there, no fumes, and the honey and the royal jelly and the propolis and the pollen are harvested naturally from those things. So it's not just the raw ingredients of aloe, it's also the raw ingredients from the honeybee, it's also the raw ingredients we put in our supplements, our nutraceuticals. They're all naturally sourced wherever possible. And there are some rare exceptions, like for instance in sunblock, you've got to have a certain ingredient in a sunblock for it to be called a sunblock. But for instance, aloe does have a sun protection factor of about 15, but it can't be advertised as that because, believe it or not, the law doesn't allow you to say that it has a sun protection factor unless it has a particular chemical in it. So we also hand fill it and hand harvest the product. That means it's not being crunched up by machines. Most aloe products are made by machine, and where they take the whole leaf and they smash up the whole leaf, and then they filter out the substance which is in the outside leaf, which we can't tolerate. It's a substance that we can't tolerate in our bodies. So by hand filleting, we just get the bit that we want, and then that is then processed through very high quality factory. We have a Tetra Pak, which is the vacuum pack. It's all cold processed, so none of it's boiled, so we're not getting rid of any of the nutrients and the vitamins, minerals, amino acids are remaining intact. In fact, so much so that our product is, apart from it being 99.7% pure aloe, it is essentially, even after 5 years, essentially the same as the cut leaf of the aloe. So it's absolutely a top class product. Cherry.
We're so confident about the nature of our superior products that we offer a 60-day money-back guarantee on absolutely everything we do. So that's confident for you, if you like, isn't it? I couldn't help but wonder, you must have shed loads of empties somewhere. And the answer was returns rates about 0.5%, half of 1%. So tiny, tiny, tiny number of returns. So that's our little symbol. For that, we have the first company to get the Aloe certified certificate of approval. We're kosher, we're halal, but we're also not just against cruelty. We don't do any animal testing of any sort, either the ingredients or the products on animals. In fact, actually, it's used to help animals. I have a customer at the moment who's feeding it to an orphan foal to perk it up a bit, and it's looking much happier now. So what about the size of this marketplace then, Toby?
Okay, well, here we're looking specifically at the UK market. But I'd like to just talk a little bit about a bit broader than that. Let's talk about the global market for what we're doing. I mean, there you see some figures for the UK, but the global market for aloe vera between 2020 and 2026 is set to really, really explode. I was reading an article just this week about it, and these kind of people are looking for natural ingredients, and it's specifically, one of the things that aloe does is it helps boost and support the immune system. And of course, with COVID and viral infections and pandemics, this is going to be something which people are looking to do, support their immune system naturally. But if you look at other markets that we are in, like sports and nutrition, like vitamins and minerals, like male grooming. Male grooming is a massive market that is growing more and more every single year. More and more men are looking after their skin, are looking after their hair, are looking after their nails. And one of the great things about our products is that everybody has hair, everybody has teeth, everybody has skin. At least the people who it reminds me of Zig Ziglar used to say, only floss the teeth you want to keep. Only look after the skin that you want to keep, only look after the hair that you want to keep. And the best way to look after these things is by feeding them naturally, and natural ingredients. And so the market is booming across all of our sectors: weight management, skin care, male grooming, sports and nutrition, vitamins and minerals. Yes. And of course, our drinks are the very top of that. And we also have the RG Plus, which is fantastic in the sports world for helping people recover and prepare for exercise.
Absolutely. Now, I've got something quite exciting to share with you all this evening, because I only read this a little while ago. And no, isn't that just classic? It slipped off my phone. Just let me get it back here, because it's something that's quite important, which is Forever doesn't just do things any old how or the cheapest way possible. It does it up to be one of the, an industry leader, the best in its field. And there's always lots of articles being written about it. We've won all kinds of awards, but here is our latest, which is our Aloe face mask. Has literally, hot off the press, just won face mask of the year in America. I'll read it to you, so you probably can't read. Oh, very funny. Yes, hang on a second. Oh, the joys of being over 25. Let me just put my glasses on. It says, Forever is excited to announce that the Aloe Biocellular Face Mask, which, by the way, is this one here, this lady's holding it, which has already been a global awards finalist. The Aloe Biocellular Face Mask has been awarded gold for the best face mask in the USA Global Makeup Awards. The winners are decided by a panel of beauty professionals who look at the best new products in the makeup and skincare launches, searching for products that showcase innovation, expertise, and quality. And it just finishes by saying, just another way, we are forever proud of our amazing products. How about that?
Very good. Well done.
Yes, absolutely, which is very exciting because, you know, with the threat of COVID coming back, so we're all going to be in lockdown a lot longer, it's a great way to introduce people to the products by having a home party online, a Zoom party, and using that face mask because it has pretty instant results, which is great.
Yes.
So just how big is all of this, Toby?
Well, I mean, the market for side businesses, just a little thing on the side, in the UK economy is estimated at £72 billion. Now, it's true to say that the British community is very entrepreneurial, especially if you're comparing it directly to the Spanish community, where they tend to be much less entrepreneurial. But you see, it's the way to go. And definitely having a little sideline, a side business, a side hustle, if you like, gives you an extra bow to your, an extra string to your bow. And this is going to be really, really important. And when you start looking at, say, for instance, the unemployment rates, and the unemployment rates in Spain are now about 25, 27%.
Whoa.
We're talking about huge unemployment. And most of that is youth unemployment. Having something else to be able to fall back on is really going to be more and more important in the coming years. But looking at a total sales of 2 billion, which is our own forever sales, are just over 2 billion US dollars worldwide. We're talking about a sale every 4 minutes. So we really are talking about a very large market with a very powerful brand that is literally still unknown. Most people don't know the Forever brand. That means that there is an enormous growth potential. And that's what that represents.
It's exciting, isn't it? So this whole benefits of tea marketing and how it works is really quite interesting because it was quite unlike anything I'd done before. I had a variety of jobs. I'd always had sort of little businesses on the side, which I had made a little bit of money at, but nothing like Forever. But the first amazing thing is that it offers you an uncapped income, which means nobody's ever going to ring you up and say you're earning too much money, give some back. Also, this is something you can build as an asset in your lifetime, but it's willable to your children. Now that's an incredible idea, isn't it? That it could be both. Now, unlike most companies that you join, they tell you what to do and then how fast they want you to do it. We do the opposite way around. We encourage you to set goals, and the system that Forever has in place will help you to achieve them. So, you know, it takes just as much energy to go small as to go large. So go large is my best bit of advice. The hours are totally flexible, so you can suit yourself. It's a global business. So, you know, if you get tired of your own country, you could go and do it on the other side of the world in the evening. And there's full training and support. But the whole idea of this whole system is that you have somebody holding your hand pretty much every inch of the way. Yes. So it starts off with one of these packs. This is what we have in the UK called Start Your Journey Pack. I don't know, what's this called in Spain, Toby?
In Spain, we have something which is called the Go-To FBO. FBO stands for Forever Business Owner, and it's the Go-To FBO pack. It's the most direct way to go from a standing start. Just like the Start Your Journey pack in the UK is the pack that starts you off because it contains a goodly range of our product. I mean, we have 200 and something products in our range. There are probably 19 in the pack. So you're only seeing the top best-selling parts of the range, and it's really a pack that you can start to develop some real understanding of what the products are, what they do for you. In the UK, you can see the products there, like the shampoo, like the soap. But in Spain, the Go-To FBO pack is got more drinks in it. It's more orientated towards the Spanish market, obviously, but also the pack has a slightly different concept. It's a retail pack, so it's actually there so that you can start making money from the get-go by selling 5 different packages of product. There's a skincare package, there's a hair care package, there's a nutritional package, there's a joints package, and there's a well-being package. So those are the 5 packages, and we encourage a new person to experiment with one of the packages and sell the other ones, and therefore make a profit straight into their pocket straight away. So it's really focused on the retailing side of the product of the business, whereas the getting you started with the Start Your Journey pack is very much more sampling the products, getting new people to start using a wide range of products so that they can use them and then find the benefits themselves, and then by talking about them, recommend them, and then starting their sales process by talking enthusiastically about the products. Whereas the Go-To FBO pack has an immediate return on your investment. That's its focus. So it's a slightly different focus, but nonetheless, every country has a different, its own pack, or potentially its own pack. The UK pack is the Start Your Journey pack. The Go-To FBO pack happens to be the pack they use in Spain, and also in Morocco, by the way, and also in France. So they have a slightly different emphasis on the start of the business, but it's basically the same thing, and it's a subsidized pack. You can see you're getting 35% off the total cost of the product. We also get 35% off the cost of our product, but our actual pack doesn't cost 199.75. It costs 295 euros, which is about 270 pounds, something like that.
But I think if we compared it to the cost of any other kind of simple business, you know, even as a painter and decorator, you need a decent set of ladders, and you can spend that just on the ladders. So it represents a phenomenal risk to reward ratio, let's put it like that. So how do we get our businesses started? Well, along with trying out the products ourselves and developing our opinions on the contents of our various boxes, we developed some customers, and a really good area to start on is the drinks. It's our best sellers. It's the spine of our business, really. And 20 regulars will do your monthly qualification with ease. And what's really great is the pleasure you get from people getting healthier and better and having more energy and more get up and go. So if you think in terms of just a small income at this stage, you know, 200 to 400 pounds a month, but, you know, think of that as extra profit, as extra free money, effectively, that isn't earmarked for something else straight away. It's just such an exciting feeling, having a little bit left over at the end of the month. You know, I remember when we started, we came from minus, I don't even want to tell you, but it was a lot. And getting to the point where you got broke even and then had profit at the end of every month was just wonderful. And the kind of places you're likely to meet people are, well, on the school run, definitely. People that you work alongside. Maybe you do go to a gym, or maybe you're on an exercise class at the moment, but you know, we could just round it up by just saying people that we like and people we care about, because it's just really just a question of just opening your mouth and saying something. I'm just astonished how interested people actually are, especially if they think there's something in it for them. But how do we scale it, Toby?
Well, obviously our business has 2 products. The first thing is the products that we've been talking about, the aloe and the thing. But the other product that we have is people. And what we do is we help people to grow their own businesses. So if you can find a few people and help them to grow a business, what you do is by helping other people to develop their business, you make a small amount of money on each, or a fixed percentage on each new business that you start. So the marketing plan, which is quite complex, it's the way in which we get paid, is done on levels, on 4 different levels. And when you start to develop leaders in your business, those are people who are going on to create large businesses themselves. you get an ever smaller percentage of a much larger business. And if you can find and work with 5 key people and show them how they can develop their businesses, like you have developed your business, and how they can find 5 people, and those 5 people go on to find another 5 people, what you get is a progression. And so you go from 5 to 25, from 25 to 125, from 125 to
65.
625, and from 625 you go to 3,025, I think it is. And so the progression of the growth is exponential. And as you know from any exponential growth, it's the way mortgages work, it's the way investments work. When you start to get exponential growth, even a very small percentage can run up to a very large amount of money.
Very much
so. As your business grows and as you start to find these people, you can start to see incomes of 600 to 2,000 pounds there per calendar month as a business leader. But then it goes on from there. And as you develop your business on, sorry, before we go on from there, let's talk about how we find those 5 key people. We find those 5 key people by talking to people in your social environments, by looking at people who are interested in the same sports and hobbies as you, young entrepreneurs. And the young entrepreneur can't be overstressed because young people are looking for a way to get out of the trap that they're all in. And they're all in this trap that's not of their making, of the recession of 2008, the crash of 2008, and now the COVID business. So people are going to be looking at ways of being able to make money online. They're going to be looking at making money without having to exchange time for money. And so it's really everybody that it could be potentially interested in what we do.
Absolutely, Toby. Absolutely.
Just going back one slide there. Go back one slide there. That multiplying of your time there is shown there, how you develop your customers, but also with your members. You see, with 2 members, 4 members, 8 members, 16 members, if each member in your team has 20 customers, you go from 40 customers to 120 customers to 280 customers to 600 customers. And you see, the focus is not on the number of people in your team, but in the number of people who are buying and using the product. And when people come at you and they say that this is just a pyramid scheme, pyramid schemes don't have customers. They don't have retailing. They don't have money back guarantees, that's for sure. And this is just a very clever way of remunerating people and giving people an opportunity to run a business from home. And this really multiplying your time illustrates that very, very well.
Yep.
So going on from there, once you have your 5 people, your 5 people go on to becoming totally independent business leaders. Now, this is really what you want. A business leader is somebody who has a very in-depth knowledge of the business and can show that to other people. And business leaders in the business, they can make 20, 30, 40,000 pounds a month and more. And then there is no limit. It's an unlimited business opportunity. Now, what sort of percentage of people go on to be business leaders? Well, what sort of percentage of people go on to be business leaders in any other field? It is a smaller percentage of people. But when you start to get to the upper levels, like Cherry and her Sapphire, and from Sapphire you go to Diamond Sapphire, and from Diamond Sapphire you go to Diamond, Double Diamond, Triple Diamond, eventually Centurion Diamond, right? There's still a long, long way ahead of Cherry, who's already in a very senior position. She's still got a huge career path ahead of her. And you can take it as far as you want to go, Cherry, I've got to say. And as part of your team, right, I'm with you all the way. And you're with me, and the way in which we can work together, it's fantastic. I'm here in Tenerife, you're there in the UK, but we still talk on almost a daily basis. Yeah. And I'm doing that with Cherry, and I'm doing that with other people in my team. And we really do work together as a machine, as a team. And so tell us a little bit more about what it means once you can start to hook into the incentives, because the incentives are the extra bits, the icing on the cake. You know, it's more than just the money. It's now recognition and reward. So let's hear about that.
All right, let's talk about that. I always think it sounds a bit showy-offy, but it is true, and it really does happen. And I'm really proud that I've got some of my lovely team members on this evening, you know, to be hooked up with other people from around the world to be working with you, Toby. It's fantastic. So you can see there's lots of figures, but it just carries on getting better and better. Now, in best Blue Peter style, here are the ones I prepared earlier. One of the things that unique to Forever, is we get this thing called Chairman's Bonus. And it's a way that the company reward us, because the company is privately owned. They don't have any shareholders creaming off the profits. Instead, they give the profits back to us in the form of a one-off bonus each year. Now, probably the first time you get one of these, it's probably about £2,000 to £3,000, which, you know, I'm not belittling that. I'd be thrilled to bits would have a check for £2,000 to £3,000. I've been lucky enough, as has Toby, to have several of these Chairman's Bonus checks. Oh, hang on, it's determined to escape. Here is my most recent one, and it's for about, I can't remember, is it $15,000? But, you know, all right, it's not the biggest, but I was absolutely delighted to be getting that check. And I thought it represented, you know, a lot of work by a lot of people in the team. But you can see that the largest check from last year was £831,000. It's a lot of money, isn't it? Life-changing amounts of money. But it all starts out by us all just developing our own simple businesses. There's all sorts of nice incentives from around the world. Now, I'm just thinking, I think that you've been on some of these, Toby. One of the nice things that they give us is one of these. It's our room key, and it's also a preloaded debit card. And this one came from Hawaii. Then in 2016, off we went to South Africa, which was another fantastic trip. Then Dallas, and the following year, Dubai. And most recently, somebody else who's on the call this evening, I went to Stockholm with, and we just had a fantastic time. And giving us money to spend whilst we're there is such a thoughtful and kind thing to do. It means, you know, you can have a little bit of extra, take your team out for a meal, or spend it on resources. And it just makes the holiday absolutely such fun. And places all over the world. Where's your favourite one, Toby?
I think probably one of the best ones that I went on was Budapest. I had a fantastic time in Budapest. I loved the People's Palace, and I was lucky enough to go back to Budapest last year on a holiday, because I've got some Romanian friends, and I was already an expert on the city. I loved it, yes, and that was a good place. But I also very much enjoyed the going to Houston and Dallas I've been to, and then round the Caribbean on a cruise. Not that I'm a very cruisy person. I don't really like being locked up on a boat. But we did have some fun in where we got off the place off the boat in
it's the Mayan Peninsula. I think we went to Cozumel.
Cozumel, that was it. Cozumel. We went skin diving in Cozumel, and we went to a place called Carlitos and Charlie's, where I got absolutely smacked. Fell spectacularly off the wagon. I had 7 years when I went into that place.
Anyway. You're in this great health business, Toby. No, something else that's quite nice that just happened last month. When was it? Or July, actually. Is big envelope arrived. Ta-da! Of the 25 years I've been in Forever, I've probably had car plan for about 23 and a half of them, and you can renew it every 3 years. So this is my most recent renewal. So, you know, it's a nice thing to think that your car is completely taken care of for the next 3 years. So it's another set of bills you really don't have to worry about, and, you know, maybe allows you to be a bit more indulgent than you might otherwise have been. So what does Rex have to say, Toby?
Well, Rex really does stand behind the company. It's his, after all, and you know, many companies have a mission statement, and as a conference producer, I mean, I've seen and had to communicate lots of mission statements to the banks, all sorts of different companies, and they talk a lot about, you know, tosh about profits and stuff. This is our mission statement, and it contains words like dignity, integrity, empathy, and the most remarkable of all, fun. And fun is really at the very core of what we do, because if what we do isn't fun, people won't do it. And so all of us are volunteers, because we are all volunteers working for the company. When I say volunteers, we're paid volunteers, paid in direct proportion to what we do. So it really is a meritocracy as well. You have your business, it's your business, you do what you like with it, you grow it the way that you want it. It's unlimited in terms of how far it can go. Have as much fun with it, and really we have a guideline and a grid and a way of working which is set down from and led from the top, where we are we always do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and that's something which Rex talks about a lot. Doing the right thing.
Yeah.
When he's faced with a decision, he makes his decision because he is doing the right thing, rather than something which maybe be for extra profits or extra revenue. He really does make the right decision for the right reason, and that makes it an extraordinary company and a very extraordinary man. And he is handing down to his son, Greg, who follows in his footsteps as well, and he is also a remarkable man.
Absolutely.
I've had the real privilege of meeting both of those people on a number of occasions, and they are amazing leaders.
Very much so. Very much so. So I hope from what you've seen this evening that you feel excited too. And for those of you who've dialed in on the call, so to speak, or zoomed in on the call, please get back to the person who's invited you to come along to the presentation this evening and get any questions that you might have answered. And I would just encourage you to come and join us, because it's a fantastic way to transition from whatever our previous career was into becoming an entrepreneur. It's supported every inch of the way with no pressure. So it's just really however big you can think your dreams to be, you can achieve and succeed with forever. So I'm going to wish you all a very good evening. Thank you so much for being on the call. And I really hope that you don't sleep a wink. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thanks, Andrew. Take care. Thanks, Marta, for joining. Gracias. ¿Cómo estás?
Absolutely.